Good morning, team. Ben Wallach here. Apologies for the background noise here. I'm fairly close to the road right now. I wanted to share with you this morning some digital fraud threats that can manifest themselves in a multitude of ways from a fraud risk perspective. These threats, the timing of their origination is all fairly unknown. Some of them date back to the 1995 time frame, as far back as 1970s, things like that. But I wanted to make sure that you kind of had a ground level understanding of them so that you could go and do some more research. The first one I want to talk about is phishing. You've all heard of phishing emails. Someone sends a blast email out. It got the name phishing because it's like casting a net, a broad net, send out a broad phishing email asking for information. And they still work to this day, believe it or not. 20 some odd years later, a lot of people still respond to phishing emails. They still click on links. The very first email I sent out for a bank back in the early 2000s to combat phishing, the email very clearly stated never give out this type of private information via email. And we listed it, and a lot of customers sent back replies with that information in the email. So they didn't even really read the email, didn't try to understand the email, just replied to it, saw the data elements included, responded back and sent their information through the clear web via email. So it's a very hard tactic to combat from a fraud perspective. The other one I want to talk to you about is Pharming. Another PH, right? But this one is where the fraudsters plant seeds. They can do this in a multitude of ways. They can actually poison a DNS server, a domain name server. It's kind of like, for those of you my age, it's like a phone book. If you don't know what a phone book is, Google it and you'll find out. But it's like a phone book for the internet. So it takes the domain that you type in, www.whatever.com, and it translates it into a digital address that is then resolved to bring you and present you with that website. So poisoning a domain server will allow fraudsters to cast another broad web, but it's just broad net, but it's just by planting a seed. So they go in, they poison that domain name server, and whoever receives a download from that domain server receives the wrong website. So they're actually directed to a fraudster's website, and whatever that fraudster wants to do, they have the freedom to do because they've most likely copied the real company's website so well that the victims fall for it. So that's Pharming. Pharming can happen in a multitude of ways. In fact, it could be poisoning your computer, and that's how malware started. So malware evolved out of Pharming. So they figured out, hey, if I can poison their domain resolution on their device, then I can actually set up malware where I can take over their computer when they visit certain websites like banks. So that's how malware started. The other one I want to talk to you about is denial of service attacks, so DDoS attacks. Those started out by trying to bring websites down, and it really started out as a malicious hacker activity just to get acclaim and recognition for people's hacking abilities, and they would target large names, things like that. And then fraudsters figured out that they could actually use DDoS attacks to target banks and try to bring down their applications so that they could cover up fraudulent activity. And they pivoted from that. They took that to TDoS attacks, telephony denial of service attacks. So fraudsters figured out, if I can take down your telephony service where your clients can't contact you and you can't contact your clients, then I can actually cover up even more fraud. So those are some threats I wanted to share with you this morning. Do some more research, reach out to anyone on the team if you'd like more information. I hope you have a great day. Thank you.